Yo, what is up, travelers? Sagan Survives here, and today I wanted to just quickly go over what I've been playing for the RuneMaster. I've been playing a Ignite Fire RuneMaster, and currently just hit Empowered Monoliths. I'm level 82, and I wanted to share this because this is a just kind of a quick guide that is meant to kind of help people maybe kind of just figure out what they want to do in the meantime before getting set up for like a really big end game, high corruption RuneMaster fire build. And what I mean by that is I feel like at this current stage of RuneMaster, it's brand new and it might get changed. And so far, the community has found that there are some fire builds that are just like straight up better than other builds out there, just due to defenses, the ability to apply a lot of ignites quickly, and even like ease of use. Like for example, the Hydra build by Lizard, that using the unique relic and the unique chest piece, that build itself is really strong too. So I'll have some links to the really strong builds that you can use. There's the Glyph of Dominion ignite build by Epoch builds. There's the Frostclaw ignite by Boardman. There's even like the Frostclaw cold Frostbite by Barry the Pig, and all these builds are incredibly strong. And they take those builds take a little bit of setting up. And what I mean by that is some of them take some uniques, like the Hydra unique and the chest piece I just mentioned about the Hydra build. I think that Epoch builds recommends using this sword, which I actually just got in the last hour doing my level 90 monoliths. And then I think that the parry version might even have some things that you need to get to in order to kind of set it up. But basically, this build itself, I really like to just do easy setups that help you get through the campaign and into the empowered monoliths pretty easily. And I think this build does that with a good amount of defenses too. So basically, what I'm doing here is, like I said, just ignite fire skills, just using the Aragon's Greater Fireball, Invocation, and basically I'm just using this to apply a lot of ignite stacks in like a large area, because it does a large explosion, and then each enemy hit by the orb, like the projectile, the explosion, and there's also embers that spawn from the explosion. They can all hit the same target, and so it hits a lot of people, or a lot of enemies, excuse me, in a large area. So I think that's a really useful one. So anyway, this is what I've been doing to just get to Empowered Monoliths, and my gear is the +1 to fireball is kind of a meme. It's not even necessary. It's just really easy to set up. So I'll have a last Epoch build tools link so I can show off some of the gear and how easy it is to set up. But of course, rocking 100% crit avoidance. I opted to go with a shield just to get some extra endurance, and that block, of course, all capped out resistances, and I am focusing on stacking some health. My health is still not super high because I am missing it on some places. This belt is not even that great. So all my gear I've been using since level 70-ish. Some of them are 77, but right about the 75 through 90 monoliths is kind of where most of my gear comes from here, and just focusing on like elemental or fire damage over time. Of course, like getting as much armor as we can, getting as much health as we can, and making sure our resistances are all capped out. And then since Frostwall is going to be like a big source of our single target damage, these ignite chance per second with Frostwall is very good for this build, and pretty much the only necessity. And I got these really early on in the monolith progress, so they are necessity to really do a high amount of single target damage, but at the same time you can go without them for quite a lot of time. But as long as you're farming relics, you're going to get them pretty easily. I wanted to quickly just go over the passives for this build here. So starting in the mage side, I don't really know why I have this point here. This point doesn't need to be here, but if you wanted, you could have one point in elementalist, so that way you could do your arcane flames. I actually use this for leveling just to help with the ignites spreading out, but as far as min-maxing the build, it's not necessary at all, since it does have a 5-second cooldown. Spreading flames is going to do enough damage with the penetration that we have and whatnot anyway. So just getting mana and health, flat mana and health, getting at least 1 point into here, getting as much cast speed as possible. And then I do like to get the ward in for that extra ward retention, because I feel like that's really good. When I leveled, I had all 8 points into this just for the extra resistances. But because I don't need those resistances anymore, I put it into flat health and mana, and then basically just want to get all this cast speed. and then want to get 5 points into Warden for the extra ward retention. Cast speed is really, really good for this build, so of course we're getting Arcane Momentum, getting 6 points here just to increase the duration of it and to get the added benefit of movement speed for mapping, and then Pyromancer so that we can get the Fire Leech and the Fire Penetration. This is actually pretty good for clear as far as like the Spreading Flames and whatnot will have the Fire Penetration when you're not using your Flame Wall. So that's actually pretty good, and obviously helps makes you survive, especially when you have a layer of ward protecting your health. And we're getting that ward and that mana from these nodes here, Unsealed Mana. Make sure you get 5 there. Of course, get all 8 points in Sphere of Protection. That's very, very good. This is incredibly good, and we want to make sure that we have 8 points in this as soon as possible. And then also, this is important as well. As far as where I'm going to put one of my next points here, I'm going to focus on getting Transcendence, so that way before like level 90, I can have that there. And then my final points are going to go into Cerulean Runestones, so that way I can have some extra endurance and endurance threshold, because that's some things that we're not going to be getting on gear and whatnot. But what's really important here is that we're getting the 8 points into this for more damage on single target, because that's where we really lack with this build. And then of course getting this for the elemental penetration with damage over time. And then this is because we are branding people with our Frostwall, this is going to be really, really important for us. So for now I'm just going to put that point there. And then I'm level 83. So what that means is my next 7 points are going to go into this, and then my last 10 points are going to go into this area here. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm going to round out the tree there. And then as far as the specific skills, Fireball, we're just focusing on Ignite Chance. We want to definitely get Spreading Inferno, and then 3 points into Wildfire for more damage on clear. And then we want things to home. We want our Fireball to home. And then I have my +1 on my chest just to get this Unchained Fire. We want to get the cast speed here because cast speed is king when we're trying to apply ignites with our Fireball. So yeah, this is going to be our spammable skill. Flame Ward, of course, cast when stunned, just so we don't have to worry about stun avoidance. And then obviously just getting these points here are very important too. Getting the extra charge is awesome as well. And then for Runic Invocation, we're just focusing on getting the Ignite Chance first. We want to have as much mana refunded on cast. Elemental Penetration doesn't matter too much because we just want to use it to hit. And then down here, we're getting this for the extra mana regen. And then this is really important because we don't really care about the added benefits of Runic Energy. We wanted to triple them, and then we'll just have more chance to repeat because of that. So yeah, we'll get 2 casts of our Fireball, Greater Fireball every time. Frostwall is really where we're going to be doing the majority of our damage here, for single target at least. And we want to just basically come up here right away. I was using Flames Unchained for a while, but I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a bit of a meme. So you could try it out, but I didn't really think it was necessary. Getting all 5 points down here. Of course, this node's really, really important. And then lastly, Prepared Ward, so that way every time we move through it, we can cast it. And then I really like this Negative Ailment Cleanse. This is really, really strong, I think. The Heaping Cold is really good, but this is only for when you're casting it every 15 seconds. And with this build, we are going to be casting it much more. So this isn't actually that useful for us, unfortunately, but it is a good node, and I played around with it a little bit. I do have 3 points here just because Frostbite Chance is converted to Fire Shred Chance. So the reason why I'm doing this build is because it's going to give us free fire penetration on single target, so that way we don't need to worry about it really anywhere else. But for things like Spreading Flames, AoE clear on mapping and whatnot, we do need to have a little bit of passive fire penetration, so that's why we got on the tree. But for single target, this is going to shred them really fast and get us close to 0 fire resistance for our ignite damage. And then this is just a traversal skill, Guidance of Flames for the mana gain on cast after casting a fireball in that direction. We really want to get Celestial Guidance here because this is just going to help us take less damage. And then this node's really good just to kind of help with clear while we're mapping. If you see the embers shooting off of me after I flame rush, that's what that's from. And it actually does add a significant amount of hits. And the thing about it is the longer you hold down your ability there, I stayed in his AoE for too long, but the longer you hold down the ability, the more that comes out. So you don't want to stay in it too long, obviously, because you start taking damage, but if you hold it down longer, you're going to get more stacks down here. But like you've seen, it's kind of something where you want to be careful, because if you just stand there and take damage, you do have the reduced damage going on, but it is kind of risky. Obviously, you don't want to get hit with a whole ton of stuff, so I can do it here and kind of just end up getting a ton of just passive hits going on, and that's really, really cool. So basically the reason why I did this build was to have it set up for really easy transitioning into one of the harder builds that need, or better builds I should say, higher damage builds for endgame corruption farming that require specific uniques, but also because Flame Wall gets free fire penetration, which is just really, really awesome for, you know, early monolith, and then not needing any sort of gear to complement that. So alright, I just want to leave you guys with a little bit of mapping footage here, just so you can kind of see how explosive and fun this build is. Like I said, this is just to help maybe, you know, new players figure out how they might want to build a Fire Ignite, a RuneMaster through the campaign and into early monoliths, and then use this build to not only just easily gear out, but also make sure they survive in hardcore, and then make sure that they have the ability to farm out the items they need for maybe a bigger, powerful build to get them into deeper corruption. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks a lot for checking out the video. Thanks for subscribing and supporting my channel. I really appreciate it, and I'll certainly have more to come here. So for now, good luck in Eterra's Travelers, and I will catch you next time.